Prevails here, saying something I rarely get to say in Eastern Oregon. Justice has prevailed. In this CPS kidnapping case where they took a child over allegations that the mother had a substance abuse issue because she uses marijuana legally, that there was a mental health issue, and that there was a dirty house that was a danger to the child. The judge ruled that the state did not prove their case when it came to determining that the mother had a substance abuse issue. The judge also ruled that the state did not prove its case as far as her mental health issues being a problem with her parenting. And as to item C, the evidence of the dirty house with things strewn all about because of the harvest season, the judge did rule that there was, the state proved that the house at that time was a danger to the child. And so the judge ordered that CPS go over to the house tomorrow at 2, and if it's clean, give the kid back. So it's very rare that we get such a decision like this. So excited to see what's happening in Oregon. All their lame attempts to try to tie marijuana to being some danger to the child. It was very interesting because the state was arguing that she had mental health problems that was making it difficult for her to raise her kid, and that she needed to go back on her prescription medication to treat those mental health issues. But she testified that she gave up those pharmaceuticals because they wouldn't work and turned to medical cannabis, which did work, which was treating her mental health symptoms. So apparently the state was arguing that you need to take medicine if you're a person with mental health issues in order to raise a kid, unless that medicine is state legal medical marijuana. So this is an amazing decision. We are really thrilled. We're heading over to Sarah's house. Sarah Frank from Fight for Lily Foundation, who fights these medical kidnappings by CPS all the time. So we're going to head over there, and while we do, we can talk to other folks here that saw the case. Oh, I got to fix my phone mount here. Give me a sec. Oh, here we go. Let's get that back on there. Stick, you little bastard. Okay. Oh, I hate this thing. Sorry, folks. Gotta be safe.
Hands free.
Hands free. That's. Oh, it just won't stick now. Is that the deal? Are you not going to stick anymore? Have you just broken beyond all repair? What the hell? Oh, keep trying. Sorry. Okay. There we go. Whose door's open? There you go.
Some excited people.
Oh, yeah. So we got Lori on the screen. Lori, what do you think of that case?
I think it went amazing. It's exactly what we had hoped for. Tomorrow they will do a home inspection to make sure that one of the very few allegations the state was able to prove is that she had a messy home. And you know, I'm amazed that they said that harvest should have took 2 hours, not 2 weeks.
Yeah, their obvious ignorance about cannabis was on display.
Right, and at the end of the hearing, when it did go the family's way, I turned around to she's probably one of the supervisors at CSD, and I told her that her agency needed to educate themselves on the cannabis laws in Oregon. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she had some snide comment.
Something about it. Oh, I never thought this was about cannabis at all. Oh, really? The whole case started because the redneck sheriffs in Malheur County didn't like this guy, Cody, his legal medical grow. Didn't like his harvest. Thought too many people were coming to his house. He must be some big time drug dealer.
Yeah. So
I mean, get me to Sarah's.
So yeah, I thought it went great.
It was an amazing case, and one of my favorite points is when Cody got on the stand, the grower. And one of the big points that the prosecution, the state, tried to make during the whole case was how dirty the house was. There was garbage and dog pee and weed laying everywhere and picks for weed and stuff that could hurt the kid. And one of their pieces of evidence was a picture that showed a bunch of bottles for like fertilizer and nutrients.
You're gonna follow Billy in that car.
Okay. Was like for fertilizer and nutrients and such. And as this went through cross-examination, it was noted that of all those bottles, there was only one that didn't have a child-proof lid on it. All the rest of them were completely impossible for the kid to get into.
And it was a probiotic fertilizer.
So yeah, that was the kicker, is that the jar. We'll follow you.
Yeah, we're gonna go pick them up first.
Okay, we'll just follow you.
I'm waiting for him to finish his Facebook Live.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm doing mine on YouTube. So yeah, so they got the grower on the stand, and he said, well, about that fertilizer in that big jug, it's made from probiotic honey, fruit juice, and water. So if the kid managed to get into it, it would probably taste good and help her gut bacteria. That's the worst effect this thing could have. So it just totally shot a hole in there. Oh God, the dangerous marijuana. But it was funny. Some of
the judge even said he didn't care about the marijuana hanging all over the place because it was too tall.
Yeah, it's 5 feet off the ground.
Yeah, too tall for the baby to get to.
And it was also entered in evidence that the child was drug tested, came up negative for everything. She had not gotten into any marijuana or anything else. So yeah, it was fun to watch the state flail about on this, because the initial way they wanted to take these kids away had to do with marijuana, and they found that they could not make a case out of that because it's legal. So they tried to make this a case out of her mental health issues and the condition of the house, the sanitary condition of the house.
And that was really the only thing that they proved.
All they had.
Yeah, that's really...
And that all they could prove is that on that one day, there was an unsanitary condition. There was shown into evidence that the house is usually clean. Like, you just caught them on a bad day during harvest. That's all that happened there. So we are thrilled. I mean, I had a good feeling about that judge as I was watching the case, because I thought he was very helpful to the mom trying to defend herself. Yeah. She's no lawyer, right?
Yeah, and he was trying his best to help her.
Yeah, he did.
She did a great job for being just a citizen representing herself, trying to get her baby home.
Yeah, you can't deny the mom's power.
Well, I also think her demeanor and intellect on the stand there kind of poked a hole in the, oh my God, she's a crazy lunatic, right?
Right.
It kind of poked a hole in that when she's being all calm and asking great questions.
Very mature, in control of herself.
Loved it.
Knew what she was talking about.
I think this is their house. Yeah,
I'm going to come help clean tonight.
This is their house.
Oh, okay. Oh, so very excited, very happy, because out here in Malheur County, this is the far eastern side of the state. We're right on the border of Idaho. This is a place I like to call West Idaho. It's like Ontario, Vail, this whole valley here is pretty much Idaho in religious makeup, in political makeup. Yeah, it's like a little chunk of Idaho, right? So I had some fears as we got into this case, how this might turn out. But like I said, the judge seemed to be pretty rational about this whole thing. He didn't buy the scare stories from CPS. Some of the fails too. When the blonde CPS lady was on the stand, she was on the stand, I think, the longest of anybody, because it was her report that they were working off of. And in cross-examination, the defense asked, well, how many people die from marijuana? And she hemmed and hawed and said, I don't have that information. It's like, oh, come on, lady. Come on, lady. Everybody knows marijuana has not killed anyone, right? So, yeah, to get a decision like this, which basically, this started in October 19th, was it?
Yes.
When they took the kids. So, as of tomorrow, after, what would that be, 2 months and a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
After 10 weeks of this kid being gone, they go over and see that house that's clean, and it's all good. They get their kid back. And I hope this is also seen by Malheur County Sheriffs as a rebuke of some of the stuff they've done. If you check my, I think it's on my Facebook feed. If not, I'll make sure it gets there. There are 2 videos taken.
Can I just hop in and go up to my house?
Yeah, sure.
They know how to get there. Look.
Is there a place to sit?
We gotta be real friendly. Here, Jerry, scooch over. Hey, Jerry, scooch over. Sarah's gotta hop in.
Give me another person.
Scooch in.
Scoot.
Oh, you gotta unbuckle first.
Unbuckle, then scoot. Then rebuckle. So we took a mom and her son here down for court support as well. Vika is back there. And
hey, everybody.
Little boy.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Thank you. I like it too.
It's nice. Yeah.
So in the back now we got Sarah Frank. You can see her right over my shoulder.
Are we still filming?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
of course.
Of course.
So how many of these cases have you been to? How many types of cases like this?
Have I been to?
Yeah, or covered with Fight for Lily?
A few hundred.
A few hundred? How many turn out like this?
On the day, this is the first time I've ever seen a parent win day of.
This is amazing.
Yeah, usually they find some reason to keep them dependent to throw them into services.
Yes. Which way?
Left. And you see why they had such a problem with them. We're a block away.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's what the cops didn't like, is that they were growing a medical garden and harvesting it 2 blocks away from the cop shop.
And they're from Idaho.
Yeah, see, cops get really upset when somebody else is making the weed money. They don't like people cutting into their business. Forward? Right? Now, it was also funny during the court recesses, the CPS workers and the state prosecutor would kind of convene at their station. Lori and I stayed there through every recess, and they started to notice that we were listening to them.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah. Oh, I sure hope some CPS worker missed a bonus because of this.
They miss a lot of money is getting lost in this.
Yeah.
At the next stop sign, turn left.
All right. But that's another aspect of this people need to understand, is that it's a money grab. These, especially if you can get a young, pretty, white, blonde girl, they can make money on the adopting these kids out.
And the stipends that follow monthly until they're 18.
Yep, monthly stipends. Yeah, you betcha. And I hope everyone understands that I'm not against CPS per se, but I do think the burden to take a child has to be really high. Like the kids being sodomized, the kids being starved, beaten, psychologically abused. You got to prove there's been harm to the kid. You can't just say, well, kid might get into harm. Well, yeah, every kid might get into harm.
They're kids.
Now, don't leave loaded guns lying around, sure. Don't leave, easily accessible knives and stuff laying around. But weed picks? Weed picks are a problem, huh? No. Reverend Rich, no. This is pretty much it. So I've got to do a meeting tomorrow with some investor types that want to get some sort of petition going in Idaho. So
You want to turn right on.
all right. Yeah, we doing our due diligence here and helping out the people that need it. So no real show today, but I don't think tomorrow either, because I won't have time to drive back in time. I gotta say, getting that victory was whew. That was it.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, it was just amazing. The family breaking down in tears of joy. Just it's very warming to know justice can work sometimes.
Well, for me, just seeing the grandmother who they had twisted her words, which CSD does that, and the aunt's words, who was the supervisor after they took the baby, and they take the family's words and they twist them out of context, and it just seeing them just so happy and just that meant everything to me as a mother and a grandmother and an aunt, and just seeing that the state failed through no matter what kind of manipulation they did with their statements, their words, saying they received multiple phone calls from both of them when in fact they had not.
Right.
Just the way they twisted everything. So, the state of Oregon, and I've dealt with them with my own grandchildren, all 3 of them since they were born. They do. They take your words, they twist them. So,
That's how they're trained.
yeah, like Sarah just said, that's how they're trained.
It's also interesting that you know, the major focus of their case, I think they started with the weed. They wanted weed to be the focus, but then had no legs to stand on there.
Well, it's legal.
Right, and so...
And she's a patient.
Right, and so they go for the mental health issue, which the bulk of the CPS officer's testimony on the mental health stuff came because CPS, while she was separated from her kid and her boyfriend was dealing with the cops and she was a little anxious and scared, got her to sign away a medical release to release her mental health records. They wouldn't have had any case on the mental health issue.
And then she tried to revoke it and they wouldn't allow her to do that.
Right after the white mailboxes.
Okay. So, yeah.
It's just scandalous what they do.
Yeah.
This is the same county that raided our friend Bill Espenson back September 11th, 2012 for running the 45th parallel. And yeah, they are just a corrupt son of a bitches over here.
Yes, they are.
They really are.
Well, we're here at Sarah's place now, so I'm going to turn off the video. Next live show for the podcast in studio will probably be Tuesday, isn't Monday, New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day?
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll be back on... should I park there?
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday, and I'll give you some follow-up from this case as we have it. But thanks, everybody, for your support and allowing me the opportunity to be able to help people out like this. What little I did sitting there in a suit. But
It means a lot.
yes, yes. So until next time, folks, take care of each other, tokers.
You intimidated